Let's talk about floods. Not the cute kind where your dog splashes around in the backyard. I'm talking houses floating down the street, God's bowling league level floods. And lately, we've been seeing a lot of them. Take Texas. Record rainfall, highways underwater, pickup trucks drifting like they're in Fast and Furious aquapocalypse. FEMA rolled in, emergency alerts lit up every phone like it was the purge. People got evacuated, housed, fed, and the government actually said, yeah, our bad. Here's compensation. That's how America handles a flood. Poorly, but publicly, transparently, and with a crap ton of lawyers standing by. Now, let's wade into the murky waters of China. Same rain, same flooding, very different script. Rain comes down, dams fill up, and then, poof, entire villages disappear. How? Introducing Midnight Dam Release. Yes, China invented the world's first stealth flood attack. At 3 a.m., while everyone's asleep, government-controlled dams mysteriously open. No warning, no alert, no FEMA, just surprise waterboarding. By morning, Grandma's pig farm is a koi pond, and your new house now has waterfront views from the roof. You ask what happened? Local officials. Oh, nature is so unpredictable. This was a, wait for it, once-in-a-thousand-years event. Yes, nature. Not the 12-page internal memo that said, we will release the reservoir at 2:58 a.m. to avoid media scrutiny and liability. This is the key difference. In the U.S., a flood is treated like a natural disaster. In China, it's more like a PR opportunity plus scapegoating festival. In America, you get rescue helicopters. In China, you get 2 rescue volunteers and a news camera. Quick, cry on cue, tell them how grateful you are. Bonus noodles if you get a tear out. And you might ask, well, if this is so obvious, why don't people in China protest? Great question. Because if you tweet about the flood, boom, post deleted, account suspended, social credit -50. The flood didn't just wash away houses, it washed away accountability. In fact, some netizens tried posting drone footage of submerged towns. Within minutes, content violates community guidelines. Translation, don't you dare show people the truth. Meanwhile, in the U.S., a guy loses his lawn chair in the rain, and he's suing FEMA for emotional trauma. And you know what? He might actually win. Part 2. The damn truth. So let's talk about China's favorite flood phrase. Once in 1,000 years. The ancient art of saying, don't blame us, blame the calendar. Seriously, every time it floods in China, it's a 1,000-year flood. 2021, 1,000-year flood. 2022, another one. 2023, you guessed it, the heavens had a nervous breakdown. By now, we've had so many 1,000-year floods, I'm starting to think China runs on dog years. At this point, the next flood will be described as once since Pangea broke up. And they say it with a straight face, too. Like, oh, this wasn't poor planning. This was rare, unprecedented, unknowable, mythical, legendary, probably foretold in a Confucian scroll. You know what's not rare? The number of times this exact excuse has been used. But let's get into the real drama. The secret dam release. You see, when the water level gets too high, you've got 2 choices. Be transparent, issue a warning, evacuate people. Or do what the Chinese government does. Wait until 3 a.m., silently lift the gates, and just whoosh, release enough water to reenact Noah's Ark without the boat. And why at night? Because in the dark, there's no drone footage, no screaming villagers on live stream, no evidence that it wasn't a natural disaster. That's not disaster relief, that's disaster laundering. And the logic goes like this. If we warn people ahead of time, they'll know we could have prevented this, which means we'd have to take responsibility, which means lawsuits, compensation, investigations, and worse, loss of face. And in China, face is everything. Lose your job? Okay. Lose public trust? But lose face? Congratulations, you no longer exist. So instead, they leak the water and blame the clouds. Literally, they'll say the rainfall intensity exceeded expectations, which is official speak for, yeah, we didn't check the weather app. But wait, the story doesn't end with the flood. Oh no, that's just Act 1. Act 2 is the propaganda parade. The same government that just ghost drowned your village will roll in with state media, a fresh set of rubber boots, and a camera crew. Suddenly, it's not a disaster, it's a documentary. Cut to crying grandma with one slipper and a soaked photo of her wedding. Cue dramatic music. Anchor voice. Over. Despite unimaginable hardship, the people remain united under the party's guidance. Like, ma'am, your town is floating. You shouldn't be hugging noodles and singing the national anthem. You should be demanding an explanation. Or at the very least, dry socks. But no, the narrative is always the same. The government came, the people survived, let's all be grateful. They even have a name for it, gratitude-style coverage. Translation, your house may be gone, but at least you got on TV. And if anyone dares to post something real online, drone footage, deleted. Criticism, banned. A mildly sarcastic Weibo post about flood response. Congratulations, you've just joined the Disrupting Social Order Club. In China, it's not just the riverbanks that get reinforced, it's the narrative. Meanwhile, in other countries, if a mayor mismanages flood response, he gets grilled by journalists, sued by residents, and memed into oblivion by Twitter. In China, he gets promoted to a desk job in another province. You know, a horizontal promotion, like moving the wet carpet instead of drawing it. And people wonder why there's so much dark humor in China, because when the truth is drowned out, the only thing left is sarcasm. Let me know when you're ready for part 3, After the Flood, Instant Noodles and Information Control, where we'll get into the glorious aftermath, censorship, emotional manipulation, and why disaster victims have to perform gratitude like it's a stage play. You're gonna love it. Or at least you'll laugh so hard you'll cry, just like that grandma on state TV. Part 3, After the Flood, Instant Noodles and Information Control. So the water has finally receded, the homes are destroyed, the livestock's gone, the rice fields look like rice soup, and the villagers are standing there, shivering, shock-shelled, waiting for help from the government. And what do they get? A bag of instant noodles. Uncooked. No hot water. Just vibes. This is China's post-disaster relief, a pack of 5-cent noodles and a photo op. It's less humanitarian aid and more performance art. Now, to be fair, they sometimes throw in a bottle of water and maybe, a soggy blanket that smells like it's been stored next to dead batteries since the Cultural Revolution. But here's the fun part. When state media shows up, these donations suddenly become heroic symbols of party compassion. 1 noodle equals 1 Medal of Honor. The camera zooms in. An old man is hunched over the bag like it's gold. The reporter leans in and asks, "Grandpa, how do you feel?" And he says, "I'm so grateful to the party. They didn't forget us." Meanwhile, his house is literally floating away in the background. It's like watching a hostage video, but with more plastic packaging. But let's be honest, you can't criticize this. Because if you post a video saying, "Hey, my entire town got wiped out and all we got were carbs and lies," your post disappears faster than your front door in a flash flood. And that's the true second wave of disaster, the information blackout. In most countries, people demand accountability. In China, people are accused of spreading rumors, even if those rumors are, photos of their submerged kitchen. And here's the kicker. The government always finds a way to flip the script. If the public is angry, just publish a few headlines like, "Flood shows strength of national unity," or "Disaster brings out the spirit of sacrifice," or "Volunteers touched by the resilience of the victims." Bro, I don't want to be resilient. I want my roof back. But resilience has become a tool, a distraction, to stop people from asking, why did this happen in the first place? Why weren't we warned? Why are we saying thank you for not dying? Meanwhile, the officials responsible for the dam release, promoted, reassigned, or magically disappear until the next flood when they return with new titles and fresh boots. It's like Pokemon evolution. Only instead of leveling up after a battle, they evolve by surviving public outrage. But here's the deepest irony of all. In China, victims of disasters are expected to feel grateful for not being completely abandoned. Not helped, not protected, just not abandoned. Imagine losing everything, and instead of support, you're told, "You're lucky we showed up at all." It's like the government lit your house on fire and then gave you a wet napkin and said, "Look, we care." So, what does the average Chinese citizen learn from this? 3 things. Don't expect a warning, don't expect accountability, and definitely don't post about it online. Because the flood may have taken your home, but the truth? That's been underwater for years. Final wrap-up. So, let's put this whole show together, shall we? A country floods, the government blames God, victims are silenced, and the only aid is a packet of dried noodles and a mandatory thank you speech. If Kafka and Orwell had co-written a disaster response manual, this would be it. Thanks for watching. If you learned something today or just feel mildly more paranoid, give us a like and subscribe. And remember, in China, floods don't just drown towns, they drown the truth. And if you live in a free country like the US, count your blessings seriously. Don't take it for granted, because until you've lived outside the comfy zone, you have no idea how weird normal can get. Wherever you are, whether you're in a flood zone or just drowning in the news, stay safe, stay sharp, and may the only thing rising in your life be your standards, not the water. Stay dry out there.